So the 2000s as a decade, I wasn't really the biggest fan of it at the time. But I gotta admit, it seems better nowadays. At least back then, people weren't talking about all this woke crap. And the world's just so fucking crazy now. But back then, I thought movies were getting a bit shit. But even that doesn't seem as bad. I was mostly depressed because everybody was complaining about the Star Wars prequels. It seemed like I was the only one that actually liked them. And at the same time, everybody liked Lord of the Rings, and it was winning all these Oscars. It just kind of pissed me off. Harry Potter was big back then as well, and Pirates of the Caribbean. And it just, I felt like kind of, I don't know, like I was living in the wrong time. It was like living in the Twilight Zone or something. Just because, everybody was complaining about Star Wars but somehow loved Lord of the Rings. So that really felt like the Twilight Zone to me. But the decade, the reason I had a problem with the decade, I think, is because I just felt out of place. Just, everything seemed wrong. I felt like I wanted to go back to the 1980s. And just kind of live through that. I don't know, it's just a crappy time for me. But yeah, I know there's probably like a whole generation now that look back on the 2000s with fond memories or whatever. But I don't mind parts of it now. Like, it doesn't seem as bad. But I don't know. I remember I used to play this a lot back then. That's one of my escapes, I guess. But I guess it just wasn't, my time. My time was, the 90s really. I grew up in the 90s. And of course grew up on a lot of 80s stuff. But I did get into DVD, mostly because I wanted to collect a lot of the stuff I grew up with. So that's really, I didn't get into anything new. But I liked collecting a lot of older 80s and 90s stuff on DVD, and that's really all I really cared about. But at least looking back, there was, there's some stuff I enjoyed. There was some good movies, but not many. But it was also a good time just to collect DVD. So I'd say the 2000s kind of sucked. But not as much as I used to think. I don't know, let me know what you think in the comments. Like the video if you want. And yeah, catch you next time.